Hey everyone, welcome to another match of Temur Rogues. Today we are playing blue-red As Foretold. Interesting deck, definitely annoying, but let's see how we do. We can interact with it. We have ways of slowing it down and answering its answers, essentially, or its threats. We are rogues. We like to sneak in from behind or under our opponent's defenses and just kind of get in for incremental damage. So let's see how we do with As Foretold. Of course, I didn't know we were playing As Foretold when I started this game, but it is what it is. Let's see what happens. Our opponent starts with Serum Visions, does nothing interesting. We draw a mountain. We have a forest and a mountain, that's great. We could probably go for a breeding pool. I go for a steam vents instead. So this was interesting that I didn't go for turn 1 Noble Hierarch. I'm not sure if that was a misplay at the end of the day. I almost always open up with Noble Hierarch as the opener, essentially. Because right now we are now a land behind, or a mana behind. We could have had 3 mana available to us, and we don't. So we can't, for example, play Mana Leak, which is a bit of a problem. So that was more a mistake than anything else. So we could have even potentially saved Noble Hierarch here by Mana Leaking that Lightning Bolt, but okay. Greater Gargadon. Oh boy, I don't see that card often. Greater Gargadon gets suspended for 10 turns, and of course they can speed that up by sacrificing their lands and I believe other permanents as well. So we kind of handicapped ourselves here because of that turn 1 play. Definitely was a mistake in retrospect. So we're going to Tarfire our opponent end of turn. We are not drawing any threats at all. We're almost forced to, play Thieves' Fortune at full cost. See if we could find an answer in the next top 4 cards. So yeah, Looter il-kor is really the only thing that makes sense right now. We can start attacking with it if it survives. If Noble Hierarch survives, we get to get the Exalted trigger as well. We start looting. So now As Foretold comes down. Our opponent gets to play spells for free. That's always broken. Restore Balance at this point. This is just GG. Yeah, I hover over it, but I know what it's going to do. And yeah, totally fair. Totally fair. Now I wonder if that game would have gone differently if we had just done a Noble Hierarch turn 1. But if everything else stayed the same, they probably would have still ended up casting Restore Balance for free around this turn. So what do we bring in here? Reclamation Sage, Cinder Vines, those all make sense, so we can target their enchantment, which kind of is the centerpiece of their deck. Single target removal spells like Tarfire, Seal of Fire, yeah, they don't really make sense. Mishra's Bauble is just is always my go-to to remove most of the time to make space in the 60. Games usually slow down turn 2 and 3, so let's see what we have in our starting hand. So is this a mulligan? I have done this many times before where I will keep a 1 land hand if we have Traverse, because I can go, say, crack Scalding Tarn, go get a Stomping Ground, and then cast Traverse to get an island, which is a fair play. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. This ensures our second land drop, and that we can potentially keep mana up, for Mana Leak, or we slam down a threat. I probably won't slam down a threat. Alright, looks like Kev, past Kev was feeling a bit more aggressive, so I wasn't afraid of As Foretold, because As Foretold is 3 CMC, so I suppose this was the correct play. Get a creature down ASAP and start putting pressure. That's fair. Alright, they miss a land drop. That's fantastic. We're going to bolt them just to make our Goyf a little bigger. And we're going to attack in, and that's it. Oh, wow. Look at that. Alright. I'm really not afraid of a spell being cast then, at this point. I feel pretty confident because of Reclamation Sage. That's probably the card that's making me kind of go all out with Tarmogoyf here. They discard Restore Balance. So it looks like they kept an extremely greedy hand. That's to our benefit. They're not going to be able to cast anything. Alright, that's fair. Now, what I could have done end of last turn was play Thieves' Fortune, boosted Tarmogoyf's size to a 4/5, and we would have won. It looks like I didn't see that play. Either way, our opponent bolts himself, ends the misery, and we go to game 3. That was kind of a lucky win there. They kept the greedy hand, but we also kept pressure. We would have had answers for As Foretold, worst case. So I believe I still played correctly there. Better than game 1, that's for sure. So our starting hand is interesting. I would keep it almost exclusively because we have Spell Pierce, so we can kind of counter anything early and still be able to put down our threats. They are going to be a turn ahead since they're going first. So, yeah. Cast Mishra's Bauble. We'll crack it right away. Alright, so we have Serum Visions on top. Do we want to draw Serum Visions? I suppose we do. It's not like we're dying for lands, and we can use Serum Visions to dig, so I think that's fair. They do nothing. That's fine. Slightly risky to fetch in case they have something they want to play end of their, at the end step, but that's very rare. I wasn't too concerned about that. Now we can Serum Visions and then keep 1 mana up for Spell Pierce, which means we can answer an As Foretold. Bolt Mana Leak. I kind of want both. But it looks like, yeah, I kind of want both. I'll draw Mana Leak first, Bolt second. Let's see what our opponent plays on their turn 3. Did they get their 3rd land drop? They do. Oh, but they decide not to do anything with it. Alright. So they don't have As Foretold. I guess they are stuck. We'll play a Fairy Miscreant. Keep it easy. We have Mana Leak. We have Spell Pierce, so we have some time here. Let's put our Fairy Miscreant down. We don't elicit a response. That's okay. Alright. Gotta play that tapped. End of turn, we'll go fetch. Get a green source. Draw our lightning bolt. It's kind of funny. We kind of fetched away our lightning bolt, and yet we still drew it. So that's always interesting. We get to cast Thieves' Fortune for 1 blue, which always feels really, really good. Let's look at the top 4 cards of our library. See what we want. Interesting. I mean, I should have actually probably removed Magus to the Moon. Spell Pierce. Why not? 2 Spell Pierces. Definitely, they're definitely going to have trouble casting anything. As Foretold, no thank you. So I play Spell Pierce here. I'm pretty sure they're not playing... But yeah, I was going to say they're not playing any Simian Spirit Guides, but they are definitely playing Mystical Dispute. So As Foretold resolves. Let's see what they play. Hopefully not Restore Balance. Please not Restore Balance. They don't. Whew. Close call. Alright, so here's the thing. They can play spells cheaply. So what do we want to do? We have 5 card types. That means Traverse can go fetch up a creature. Is a creature what we want right now? Is my question. It is. Of course it is. Reclamation Sage. Smart play. We keep Counter Magic up. Let's see what they play. But next turn, we are most likely destroying As Foretold. Alright, they're playing a second As Foretold. I am... yeah, tempted to counter it again. Alright. Bolt them end of turn. We got our 4th land, which is beautiful. Doesn't really matter because we're playing Reclamation Sage. So if Reclamation Sage resolves, then we get rid of their second As Foretold. That's great, because now they only have 2 left in their deck, presumably. And they need to draw it to do anything important here. So we're going to go attacking again for 1. Fairy Miscreant pulling its very little weight, but it is doing its job either way. Next turn, we could play a Tarmogoyf, or we could play Obsessive Skinner. Alright, looks like they really hate a Reclamation Sage. That's okay. And we can still, so we can play a Tarmogoyf or Obsessive Skinner and still keep our Mana Leak up. I would probably play Tarmogoyf and just keep Mana Leak up. So they have 5 cards in hand. I mean, one wonders what is in their hand. I assume some Suspend cards, which may be kind of useless at the moment. Alright. They don't end up casting it. Yep, another Steam Vents. Oh, do I get a Stomping Ground? Alright, that's fine. Draw our 5th land. Let's attack again. I think Fairy Miscreants have dealt at least 5 damage so far. And unfortunately, that's where this game ends. Our opponent decided to just leave. Didn't have a response for our Tarmogoyf is my assumption. And even if they did, we had Mana Leak Mana up to stop them. And they just had a clock that they most likely had no answer to. So game 1, we were just kind of caught off guard. We had a inefficient starting turn, which was my fault. And we just kind of got restored balanced on turn 4, which was kind of brutal. Everything went perfect for our opponent. In game 2, our opponent was kind of short on lands. Either way, we just had responses to everything. And yeah, he had no choice. He had no chance. And we won. Game 3, well, it looks like we had all the answers. And our opponent saw that and decided to leave. So be it. That is what it is. I mean, we got rid of 2 of their As Foretolds. We just kind of stopped them dead in their tracks. And they probably had a bunch of useless spells in their hand because they're all meant to be played with As Foretold, and As Foretold didn't last. So that was interesting. I don't think As Foretold as a deck or as an archetype is very strong, at least not right now. we just are nimble enough and, flexible enough to get around and keep their spells at bay while we eat at them 1 or 2 points at a time and gain card advantage, which is what we saw in both games, but especially in game 2. I hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Lets me know that you're interested in seeing more. It allows you to get notifications when I post up new videos and just helps the community grow. Thanks and have a good one.